Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the leaked Diablo 4 monetization system. And the reason why I put it in quotation marks is keep in mind this is a leak. Things are subject to be faked. And of course, there are always going to be changes with some of these things as it's like an internal test that they're doing for basically seeing what people would actually go ahead and buy. A lot of you guys had asked me what are my thoughts on it. So this video is going to be my thoughts on it as well as kind of more in depth of what actually is here. So starting right off, what are we looking at? We're looking at several different like rewards that you can get depending on which version that you buy. If you guys remember Diablo 3, we did have a collector's edition that did come with some wings and some extra dies in the game, but these are all cosmetic. But there is one thing that I'm kind of worried about, and I'll get to that in a second. Now at the very bottom it says which of these options would you be most likely to buy. So they're kind of figuring out in terms of feedback, because I guess what this is it's an internal test and they're getting some feedback of like which one would you actually want to purchase here. So right now under option B you'll see that there's literally nothing. This could just be a placeholder, it could just be a spacer, but we only have basically items for option A and C. So one of them may be like a normal edition, then we have like a collector's edition, then we might have like this super collector's edition or legendary edition, whatever they're calling it, right? So we have three different versions of the game, at least on paper in terms of like right now via this leak, right? So what do we get in option A? We get some sort of skin and we get a different skin in option C. That's just cosmetic. These specifically list, and every single one of these will list that it does not actually affect gameplay. There is a mount that lets you move faster, but what's interesting is in the other option, the more expensive option, which is under option C, has nothing. Could just be a placeholder. Maybe you get all of the previous rewards as well if you get the more expensive edition. But there are some games where like if you buy the like super edition, some of the other smaller stuff they don't give you because they give you what they consider to be the better version. I don't know if you get all the previous rewards. Again, I'm here just to kind of report on this thing over here. But in terms of the mounts, there are multiple different mounts that you'll be getting, and it looks like there's just another skin over here, and it says specifically over here that the changes the appearance of your mount, no impact on gameplay. That's like the important thing. And there's also cosmetic wings. Basically looks like Tyrion's wings that we got from D3 maybe there's just some new like angel, but we get some sort of angelic wings. And then it says no influence on gameplay. And then there's also platinum. It says it's an in-game currency that can be used to purchase current and future cosmetic items in the in-game shop. So it includes 15 euro of that. Or whatever currency that they're calling it. It might just be a placeholder. So basically, you get some sort of in-game currency that you're going to be used to actually purchase items. I'm not sure if this is going to be something that related to the trade system, because in Diablo Immortal, we have a system where like you still have to use platinum as your form of currency. And in Diablo 4, as far as we are aware of, there are going to be some items that can never be traded, can only be traded once, and some items you just can never actually trade. So some items you can trade, some items you can't, and some have like a limited amount. And maybe we're going to have to use platinum to actually trade. I have no idea. I'm just kind of giving you guys some ideas on what we're actually going to be seeing with some of these things. Now, in addition to this, they say Battle Pass. This will grant you access to the Battle Pass, the premium rewards. So I'm guessing there's like a free track and maybe like a paid one. And then one of them will contain it. Now, what's interesting with this, again, remember, option A is cheaper than option C. So it says contain, and then there's nothing in this box. Again, could be placeholder, could be, just a mess up. I don't know. It would make more sense if you're buying the more expensive one to get everything, right? And then this is where I draw the line in terms of like what I would not personally want. Like in terms of cosmetics, and in terms of like kind of answering you guys' questions, what are your thoughts on if this is real? So here's my thoughts on it. I'm an old school gamer. I've been playing games for a really long time. I like buying my boxed copies of games, and I also really like expansion packs, basically purchasing them because it makes it so like you feel like you're getting a large amount of content all at once. However, with someone that's been playing Fortnite and other video games through the course of time, I've realized that purchasing DLC or purchasing like expansion packs kind of separates the player base. And as a content creator, I totally get it, because sometimes I'm covering new content in a video game that if people do not have like the DLC on a Call of Duty map or a Halo map, whatever the case may be, they're missing out on content, and that's kind of a bad situation. So I like the idea of having some sort of way for them to generate revenue that doesn't make it so everyone has to pay to experience the new content, especially if their monetization system is just purely cosmetic. Now, going into what I'm kind of worried about, and something that I personally would say that I'm not a fan of, because I'm okay with cosmetic purchase. Again, just cosmetic. It may be portals, little portraits, little like different skill like effects in terms of like the VFX. Instead of it being blue, it could be like a purple. Like it changes. I play Path of Exile. There's a lot of MTX in that game that just change up, again, cosmetics. However, this right here, early access, so access to the game a few days before the official release date, right? A 7-day head start. The other one says a 2-day head start, but that's the more expensive one. I wonder if this is a 7 days and this is a 9-day head start. That is insane. I play Path of Exile and on a brand new season or a new league, right? Or even if you play Diablo, right? This is an excellent example. If the season starts and someone has a 1-week head start on you, they are going to have a huge advantage on being able to be on the leaderboards, right? Now, does that actually matter for some people? Maybe not. But I think that in terms of releasing the game and having an edition of the game be available a few days ahead of time is going to be very unfair. That's just my personal take on it. I know for some people, they're like, well, I could play it in a week. It's not a big deal. But in terms of having items being available to be traded, the people that have that advantage in a PoE trade league, an extra few days head start, that is insanely powerful, and you're going to be ahead of the curve because you'll be able to basically get rid of your hand-me-downs a lot faster, if that kind of makes any sense. So that's something that I would take into consideration, and at least if I'm able to give them feedback, I think that in terms of early access, if they want to do pre-order to get your invite to the beta, because we did technically sign up for the beta as well not too long ago, I think that that would be a more, I guess, fair variant of like being able to access the beta as a pre-order versus like, oh, if you buy this edition of the game, you can have early access to it. That's at least my take on it. Now, I was also curious to see what people were saying over on Reddit for this. Let me go and actually just move this back so we have some more gameplay. Well, this is like some B-roll footage of the Rogue class. But let me go and show you guys kind of the results of other people doing some testing, and I want to get into some sort of extra discussion here. So people are commenting over on Reddit, how do you feel about the cosmetic only shop? So I was kind of curious to see what the results were, and this is kind of the results as of right now. So most people are okay with it, and I'm also curious to know my viewers' feedback, or if you're brand new to the channel, welcome indeed. Let me know how you guys feel about like the item shop. Like, this will be a game that we do have to purchase. It does also have a battle pass, and we also have skins. If it's just skins, for me personally, I want the game to get new content, right? I want those new expansions. I want new bosses. I want new unique items. I want seasons. And they need to fund those somehow, right? Not only do you have to purchase the game, and like I said, I'm an old school gamer. I don't mind physical, like, you know, expansion packs, or an expansion pack that you'd have to purchase, and then you get like some massive update, right? But I think nowadays with games, it's more so like they kind of release things a little bit streamlined, right? Like we get a new season every few months. So in terms of it, now I'm okay with cosmetic. When it gets into stash space and like convenience, maybe some sort of pet that picks up, your gold, your loot, you can have an auto pickup, maybe, finally pick up Death's Breath, right? That kind of stuff is where I kind of feel like it's a gray area. Obviously, when you're able to get buy more magic find or buy specific things, like you get extra RNG on top of your stuff, that's where I would say absolutely not. But in terms of like extra storage space, that does technically give you an advantage, and I'm in like more so the gray area with that, because technically, yeah, getting more stash space does help you out, especially if you're going to be able to list these items on some sort of marketplace. That would technically give you an advantage, right? But this is mostly stuff that we've already actually known about. Here's an article over here on PC Games. They already basically said that they're not selling power. We'll have to wait and see what happens when the game comes out. I'm hoping they can stick true to that, but they basically said we're not going to be selling power. We're going to have expansions. So are we also going to have to buy the expansions, or are those going to come out in a form of like, well, if you can get your items and sell them for some sort of platinum, then you can get your expansion for basically no cost? Is that the plan? I really don't know. And those are the things that I kind of just bring up in terms of questions, and I'm curious to know how you guys feel about that. I think that I don't mind, again, purchasing physical expansion. That's 100% fine with me. But like, there's so many different forms of revenue that this game is generating with all these different things. And if it's just cosmetic, I'm all for it because I want more new content. And again, I'm curious to know your guys' thought on that. They're also talking about like smart loot in the game because apparently how it works in terms of like the trading items, if there is a smart loot system, then people are kind of saying that like, well, what's the point of, having these items be tradable if there is smart loot? The smart loot, if you guys don't know, it's kind of like Diablo 3. 99% of the items that drop, right? If I'm playing Rogue, all the items will pretty much drop for Rogue. But if I get like a Necromancer item, it's almost pointless, right? Because I'm not playing it. Unless I can transfer it to another character, which could incentivize playing another character because you get some cool new legendary, right? but at the same time, maybe someone just wants to play one character. Can you at least like disenchant it for some sort of material? I don't know, but that would be something that some people would also think about in terms of like game design as well. But I'm curious to know, how do you guys feel about like stash space in the game? Would you guys mind if they sold stash space and also character slots? Because technically with Reaper of Souls, we got extra character slots, and we also got more stash space with Reaper of Souls. So that was kind of a nice thing. Technically, some people argue like you're buying extra space, right? But at the same time, I think that they give you a decent amount of space. And heck, if they started selling space in D3, would people actually, you know, care? I want the game to get more content at the end of the day, but I think in terms of cosmetics, that's what I'm personally okay with. And I'm curious to know how you guys feel about all of these things that we talked about in terms of its monetization. Are you guys happy with it in its current state? For me, overall, the only thing that it's really concerning is getting the game a week before everyone else, or 9 days, or even 2 days before everyone else. That's a huge advantage. Remember, this game has PvP, so there's going to be some things to consider with that. But that's my feedback and my thoughts on the whole monetization system that got leaked, because some of you guys did ask. But let me know how you guys feel about any of the topics that we talked about, or if there's something I missed out on that you guys want me to cover. Let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and do want to see more Diablo and other action RPG gaming content in the future, subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll see more, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. And I'm out. Peace.